name is Publio. I'm gonna sing a couple of songs to prepare our environment, to prepare our soul for the Spiritist Talk tonight. So welcome to our meeting. First of all, I'm gonna sing a song called Vibrate. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate away, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Now I'm gonna sing a song that really calm me down. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done in the hand. Music lifts, his spirit sings sweet ballet. Nature's love, a constant giveaway. In joy and peace, my heart finds its way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done in sweet ballet, nature's love, a constant giveaway. In joy, in peace, my heart finds its way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in His arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in His arms I sway. Now, song to Mother Zephyrina. Now, song to Mother. Now, song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian, make your small son a good Christian. Now, I'm gonna sing a song, Good Old Man. Now, I'm gonna sing a song, Good Old Man. It's about our protector, our mentor, Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky. I understand. Helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all this transformation, we just have to put love in action. Now I understand. Helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action.
Hello, friends. How's everybody out there doing? We want to welcome to our public meeting today, to our talk. And as always, it's really a pleasure to have you here and to have you here with us. So, like always, we would like to share a couple of announcements with you before we get started. So, remember that our meeting, it's a 30-minute presentation followed by Q&A. But for that, we ask you to turn off your phone notifications if you can right now. Find a place that is quiet where you can really focus on what is happening right now, that you can really dedicate this time, and your attention to our time here together. So again, around 30 minutes presentation and then 10 minutes questions. So we love questions, so please add the questions to our chat. So after the presentations, we have our spiritual treatment, and now is a good time for you to get some potable water, some drinkable water to set aside to be magnetized at the end of our meeting during our spiritual treatment. Our spiritual treatment has the magnetized water and also passes. Our meeting today is retransmitted by Continental Concafres Americas through their Facebook and also every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. So we, welcome you whatever way you are listening to us, whatever way you're joining us today. So a very news, fresh news. We always talk to you about Get to Know Spiritism course. So it's a course that is free. It's online every Saturday at 5:15 Eastern Time. A new class will be starting September 6th, coming up. So if you want to know more about Spiritism, the registration link is on the screen and we'll put that in the chat too. So free new course starting September 6th. Get to know Spiritism so that you can join us for free online every Saturday and study more about Spiritism. So another thing that we offer is gospel at home. So gospel at home is this practice of once a week, same time, same date, that you dedicate to read the gospel of Jesus and also to meditate on that, to reflect on that in a family setting, and to do your prayers for your home. So we would help you get started and maintain that. So if you are interested, just post on the chat and we can help you with that. We also have our prayer book or our vibration book. Is a confidential online book or list of names that we pray for. So you are welcome to include your name, the name of a friend or somebody who you know that needs prayer. This person might be incarnate or discarnate. It doesn't matter. We pray for incarnates and discarnate, and the person that you indicate will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing, energy, and strength and goodwill. So the link for our vibration book is in our chat. And today we are here to hear about patience, obedience, and resignation. That is from chapter 9 of the Gospel According to Spiritism. And the chapter 9 title is Blessed Are the Meek and Peace Loving. And this is in items 7 and 8. And tonight, our friend Rodrigo would lead us in that discussion. So, as always, if you have any questions, just add them to the chat and we'll, address your questions at the end. We love questions and comments. So now we can welcome our friend Rodrigo. How are you?
Hello, Anna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Okay. Anxious and excited, anxious in a good way, to hear all about all about the gospel, the section of the gospel of the Spiritism that you're going to lead the reflection to us. So I'll leave you to do our opening prayer, and I'll be back later.
Thank you very much, Anna. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be back here on the stage. Now, not in the backstage, but in the front stage. So let's, as usual, we're going to do our initial prayer, our opening prayer, and I invite all of us, if you wish to close your eyes and elevate our thoughts to our Master, to our guide, to our Creator, illuminating our souls and our spirits to learn about this topic that's so important, that's so difficult to have, that's patience, obedience, and resignation. Please help us to reflect on the teachings of our Master and help us to use those to guide us and to improve our attitudes and our actions, in our interactions with other people, starting in our home and then in our jobs and any other environment that we are having relationships with other people. Please, Master, ask your protection, your inspiration, the guidance of the good spirits that can share the message to those that needs to hear on demand or live right now. Master, inspire between us and help us to guide this study and then we can learn all together. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share your gospel in another language and help us to connect with the good spirits. Please bless us today and always. So be it. All right. So just give me a second. I'm going to share my slides here. Just give me 1 second. Yep. I hope you see my slides now. You're probably seeing it. All right, let's get started. And as Anna already mentioned, so today is quite a special because we're going to talk about some virtues that are very, very difficult to have. I'm not going to lie to you. I fail most of the time on those three: patience, obedience, and resignation. But before we start, let's try to understand what this invitation is all about. So we should be happy that we're being invited to think about the patience, obedience, or resignation. But let's take a look on the definition. So when you look at the definition, so you're gonna help us what's gonna take for us to master these skills. I'm gonna call these skills, these virtues. So patience. So according to the Oxford Language Dictionary, patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. That's the challenge number one. How many times we face problems that we tolerate the delay, we don't feel trouble, we don't suffer, and we don't get angry and upset. So that is not easy. That's why patience is a very, very important virtue. I'm going to call here a skill that is not easy to gain. But guess what? Can we gain? Yes, we can. What's the problem? It takes patience to learn patience. And that means repetition, which means they're going to find people that are going to test us on that skill set. So, obedience. What's obedience? Obedience is a compliance with an order or request or law or submission to another's authority. So, in our specific case here, we are dealing with obedience to an authority. And this authority here is those that represent the Creator, that represents God, and God by itself. Which means that God creates laws, and those laws need to be followed. The most important law of God is the law of right, love. So if we are not obeying the law of love, so basically we're not obedient to God laws. And of course, God has other laws, but I want to emphasize love is the most important one. And then we have resignation. And resignation is the accept of something undesirable but inevitable. Oh, that one is also really, really hard. And most of the time, people get mixed up with what resignation really means because it's really is intelligence to deal with the problems. So that's to me what resignation is about. So you know that there are circumstances that are not under your control, they are inevitable, but you have a good and optimistic approach to the issue. So most of the time, what we do, so we complain and complain and complain, and then complain a little bit more. So, and that's the issue sometimes. And the resignation is opposing to that idea. So the idea to change this mindset instead of complaining is just, well, it is what it is. Let's move on and let's do something. So is really these three elements here, these three virtues or skills, they are required for a happier mindset. So let's see the message number seven. The item number seven is from the spirit, is a friend spirit, and they're gonna share how the spirits understand this patience. And they're gonna explain here. And this message is you can find it in the Gospel according to Spiritism, and it was in France in Havre in 1962, and then say the following: pain is a blessing that God sends us upon the elect. Therefore, do not become troubled when you suffer. Instead, bless Almighty God, who through the pain of his world has marked you out for glory in him. Yeah, I know that's hard to it's a very hard concept when you are in pain and you are in suffering. You try, do not complain and be thankful for. It's even harder. Be grateful for suffering, pain. But this is what the Spirit is trying to show us here, that pain is a path, is a path to our improvement. Because we can learn from love and you can learn through suffering. So God gives us the option, so the free will. So then we choose. So then when we choose, we have the consequences. And now is the reflection of our choices. We always make our choices on based on the law of love, or we choose suffering and pain. And if you choose so, which is normal for us human beings, that's when patience is key. And then what the spirit is here is trying to tell us, this friend spirit, is that if we are thankful for those moments of suffering, pain, we're going to change our mindset and understand pain and suffering as a medication to our soul, as a medication that we need to take to overcome the disease of our soul, is a medication for the spirit. Let's see what else they have to tell us. Be patient, which is not easy. I know. I and they say, "Oh, I lost my patience today." I never lose my patience. Why? Because I don't have it. So you cannot lose what you don't have it. So then patience is something that I don't have. So I have to practice to try to get some moments of patience. Patience too is a form of charity. I'm going to repeat. Patience too is a form of charity. And you must practice the law of charity taught by Christ, the envoy of God. So the spirit here, a friend spirit, is telling us that when we become more patient, we are also being charitable at the same time. And we learn here that charity is loving in action, which means we are following the law of love that God created. How easy is that? Easy to say, hard to do. But guess what? Let's practice. Try to think about moments of your day that you have those challenges. I don't know, sometimes at home, sometimes at work, sometimes both of them. Sometimes I know we are tired, so we work all day long. So then you didn't have a good day. So we have to change this kind of mindset and be patient, because better times will come. And when we do that, we are charitable. with us and with others, because other people also need patience from us and vice versa. And then they continue, the charity that consists in giving alms to the poor is the easiest of all charities. Here, what the Spirit, this is Friend Spirits trying to show us. So, give material things is easier. Not they're not telling that's not important. This needs to be very clear. It's important. Material things are important in a material world. However, we need to understand, put the things in their place. And they continue. There is another kind, however, that's much more burdensome and consequently more meritorious, for giving those whom God has placed in our path to be instruments of our suffering and to put our patience to the test. Now, the invitation here is, let's say, beyond. The charity here go to another level where we have to forgive and also be thankful for those that help us to gain the skills that we need to learn to have the virtue of patience. And that's not easy, because how many times we're going to say, oh, thank you very much for making me suffer. So it's hard. And of course, we don't want to search for suffering. That's not the point. But when we're facing suffering and pain or situations that are very challenging for us, we need to be thankful for the opportunity of learning, the opportunity that we are receiving to learn how to master this skill. Because if you learn how to master this skill, then you're not going to lose them anymore. If you have patience, you never have ever have to go and to say that, oh, I lost my patience. No, because you have it and you master it. Oh, you're going to take many, I don't know for you, but for me, it's going to take many reincarnations until I kind of master this technique. So, and the spirit here, this is a spirit friend, say what we already know. Life on earth is difficult. And the spirit say, life is difficult, I know. It's composed of 1,000 nothings, which are pinpricks that end up hurting us. But we must consider the duties imposed on us, the consolations and compensations we receive in return. And then we will see that the blessings are more numerous than the sorrows. This is quite important to stop here, because when we don't have patience, most of the time we overreact to situations. And what you think is a very gigantic problem is not as gigantic. So patience gives us an ability to deal with time. And we know now that as we become older, that time matters. So if we do not react and we really reflect in the situations that we are presenting to us that leads us to pain and suffering, so we're going to learn with time that pain is not that big and that suffering is not that big, because we learn how to control the emotions that we are feeling. And we start reasoning more what's happening. Because most of the time, I would say that's a rule that I start applying to myself. Do not answer anything that cause you suffer or pain or any emotional reaction 24 hours. Wait at least 24 hours to respond something. Why? Because it needs to go away from the emotional side of me for me to start reflecting more and analyze more rationally what's happening. If we do those things, what the spirits are saying that the burden seems less heavy when we look to heaven than we look our brow bent toward the ground. This is a very interesting analogy. So when you we look up, which means if we look more in a reasonable and less emotional state, we see things less heavy and with more clarity. But if we put our head down, so just think about how much can you see when you put your head down. So you just see what the floor, and basically means you just see yourself and don't have the ability to judge your surrounding. That's why we look up, you can see way more and you're more aware of your surrounding. And that analogy here help us to figure out why patience is so important, because patience give us the ability to see our surrounding and be more aware of what's happening with a less emotional load and more reasoning. And then we have, of course, better solutions. So Paul of Tarsus in Romans 5:35 said, and not only that, but we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulations produces patience, and patience produces endurance, and endurance produces hope. Is not that beautiful? So see how much important is this virtue of patience, this skill set, because it leads to endurance. So means you build, have more strength to face challenges and problems and difficulties. And then endurance produces hope because you know that it's not eternal. It's not gonna last forever. It's gonna end. And then when it ends, we know that, wow, that will be much better because this pain and the suffering you end and the life goes on and then continue. Then with this approach, you start to reach a highest level of understanding, and maybe you have more ability to feel optimistic and happy about it. And we know that we're not going to feel happy 100% of the time because we are on Earth, and Earth is designed for a proven expiation. So we're going to have face challenges. Well, our weaknesses will be exposed, and we're going to have to learn how to develop skills to improve. Then the spirits are telling us this. Well, this is not easy. What's the model? Who I should follow? And then they say, courage, my friends. Jesus Christ is your model. And why the spirits are saying that? Because Jesus suffered more than any of us and had nothing for each to reproach himself. So Jesus didn't anything wrong. And he suffered the most humiliating death in that time, that was crucifixion. And you know who was crucified those time, right? So only people that is the worst of the society that time. Whereas you have your past to expiate and to strengthen us for the future. So why this invitation to be patient? And they say, be Christians. And Christians here, be follower of Christ, follow of his example. That even though suffering all the physical pain, all the humiliation that could be a moral pain, is still at the end, he asked the Father to forgive us because we don't know what we are doing. So this is the ultimate control, because Jesus know our beginning and our end, our destiny, in just a matter of time. That's why he was patient and he understood everything and he dealt with the problem in with the most patience, obedience, and resignation because he had a mission to teach us how to live our lives. And this word sums up everything. Then, when we move to the item number 8, is more related to obedience and resignation. And the following message is from the Spirit of Lazare in Paris, 1963. And all at all points, Jesus' teachings was related to obedience and resignation. And two very active companion virtues of meekness. So that's why Jesus said in the Sermon of the Mount, blessed are the meekness and love and love and peacing. So because those are very good attributes that we need to have to move on. We need to be obedient and we need to have a resignation. And here the Spirit's very clear. Although people erroneously confuse them with their negation of sentiment and will. And that's not obedience and resignation is about. So we have to be careful to not confuse those. So they help to clarify. Obedience is the consent of the reason. For example, I follow the Spiritism teachings and I'm obedient to them because it makes sense logically to me. Resignation is the consent of the heart. So resignation has some relationship with faith. Because remember the concept of the beginning that is undesirable things that not under your control. That's nothing you can do that can change that. So that's where the resignation is the consent of the heart. Because you look and say, you know what? I cannot change person A, person B, or person C. I cannot change how they feel. I cannot change how they act, but I can change myself when I'm dealing with them. I remember a book called A Good News, and this book is beautiful. So, and for I don't think we still have translation in English. However, there is a passage that Jesus is talking to Bartholomew. And Bartholomew is complaining about his family. And Jesus just shared with Bartholomew. So Bartholomew, why you don't try to understand your family members better? Because you are in a different uh, moral under, moral understanding. So why you don't try to understand them? And when he decided to try to understand them, so the suffering and the pain went away. Why? Because did the parents and siblings and other people, friends around changed? No, he changed the way that he saw those. Remember that both are active forces because they carry the burden of the trials that insensate rebellion lets draw. So be careful to not rebel against what's happening with you in the sense that you do not accept. Because this go against obedience and resignation. If something is happening to us, let's think about this. Nothing happens for no reason. So let's analyze what's the teachings. What do we need to learn from those experiences? How those experiences is going to make us better. Because that's the goal. Because if the goal in our mind that our Creator designed us to be and our destiny is to reach perfection, so every lesson has a goal, and this goal is towards the perfection. So we need to have patience and we need to have obedience to understand that, well, what God is doing is for my best, is the same thing that parents do for their kids. And let's be resigned. The things are not happening the way that I want, when I want, the way I want. Otherwise, we become or behave like kids throwing tantrums just because things are not happening the way they want. So, in terms of obedience and resignation, this is quite important to reflect because the coward cannot be resigned, just as the proud and selfish person cannot be obedient. Jesus was the incarnation of these virtues scorned by materialist antiquity. He came to make the triumphs of sacrifice and renunciation of the flesh shine in the bosom of downcast humankind. So, this is very interesting. So, because if we are cowards, if we don't face our problems and we hide from them, we don't learn a resignation. And we are too proud and too selfish, so we are not obedient because we rebel. So this is very common when we are in the adolescent phase. So they think they know more than their parents. They think they know more than everybody else. They start to rebel to the command, to the orders, even though those are important to them. And we behave the same thing sometimes against God. We blame God, we blame Jesus, we blame everyone except us. Why? Because we still not obedient. We have difficult to understand why what did I do to deserve this? And if you put your hand in your conscience, you're probably gonna find out that most of the time the problems that we are faced are results of our choices. If you think about deeply without fear to see the truth, you're going to notice that there is no problem in our life that wasn't created by ourselves. And it's hard to accept that. But when we accept, it's a kind of a liberation because now we can work on the problem in the issue because then uh, we are not cowards that we are not kind of try to blame others, not assuming our responsibility. And that's what Spiritism is good to bring this responsibility to us. There is no, let's say, blame others for choices that we made. And then they continue, obey the great law of progress, which is the catchphrase of your generation. Woe to lazy spirits, those who close off their understanding. Woe to them. For we who are the guides of humankind, on the march you apply the whip to compel their rebellious wills through the twofold effort of break and spur. All prideful resistance we found sooner or later, but blessed are they who are meek, for they will lend a willing ear to our teachings. Basically, here the summary is this: we have a choice. You want to suffer, you will continue suffering until we give up. Or we try to become more patient, have more resignation and obedience, then you'll be much easier. That's what they call the meek. And to finalize the talk tonight, I want to finish with a Chico Xavier message that is called always trust. Don't lose your faith among the shadows of the world. Even your feet are bleeding. Keep moving forward, lifting it up by heavenly light above yourself. Believe and work. Strive for good and wait with patience. Everything passes away and everything is renewed on earth. But what comes from heaven will remain. Of all the unfortunate ones, the most unfortunate are those who have lost confidence in God and in themselves, because the greatest misfortune is to suffer the privation of faith and to go on living. Raise your gaze, then, and walk. Fight and serve. Learn and get ahead. Shine the dawn beyond the night. Today, it is possible that a storm may crumple your heart and torment your ideal, frightening you with affliction or threatening you with death. Do not forget, however, that tomorrow will be another day. So that's how I end my talk. Thank you very much for listening to me tonight, and I hope we learned something from this.
Thank you, Rodrigo. It's just two messages, right, from one chapter, but so much, you know, so much teachings there, so much to reflect, right, and to apply to our lives and ask the so what.
That's
I
very true.
actually love this sentence from that message patience where it says life is difficult. I know it is composed of 1,000 nothings, which are pinpricks that end up hurting us. Because most of the time, if we really look at it, it's 1,000 nothings, but it really, right, we have no patience, right? We don't breathe, we don't want to wait, right? We just want everything now. And and in life and in nature, everything requires time, right? Everything. It's not like, even when you look at the seed, I think sometimes I do gardening so that I can exercise my faith a little bit. Because sometimes you look at that little seed and you're like, no, that's not going to become, a big cucumber or something, a big tree. But, you just put in the soil there, you think, oh, nothing's going to happen, and you take care of it, and you let the time pass, and then you see, oh, you know, and it's so rewarding to see as the time passes and all the stages and everything. And you finally, after, months, then you might harvest something, right? So,
Yeah,
it's
I think
patient,
that, yeah, I think the garden is a great analogy
and
because when you do your gardening, you are already saw what you want to see,
right,
and then you start little by little until to reach the end. That was your plan, your vision. Let's use the same analogy for God's plan. He saw everything before us. So what
right,
we need to do is what you're doing as a gardener. So just plant, do your part. So things are gonna happen in the time that needs to happen. So for example, I think if you have a cucumber seed, you're not
mhm,
gonna expecting to have tomatoes, are you?
right,
So the question become why we want this way. So why sometimes we have some decisions and actions and we want something else. There's
mhm,
no way that, for example, bad decisions are gonna end up good.
right. There's no way to plant one thing and harvest something else, right?
No,
You're gonna harvest exactly what you planted, right? And you can plant anything, right?
That's
The
correct.
options are endless.
Yeah, and you cannot
However,
plant anything if you want.
you can plant anything, but the harvest, you're only going to harvest what you
That's right.
planted.
The harvest is mandatory. I think there's a, I think was I heard this from our old tutor.
Hmm.
He mentioned in a talk saying that every most of people smile when they are planting,
Right,
but they are crying when they're harvesting.
right,
So
right,
because it's their choice to do whatever you want, but then
right,
the harvest is mandatory when it comes. So what did you do?
right,
And then
right.
I remember the Jesus parable of the talents. So you receive the talents, you do whatever you want with your talents. But the time will come when they're gonna ask, so what did you do with your talents? And
Right.
then you have to show.
Right. And that's the thing too, is like for us, because it shows, right, that, yeah, the messages are like for patience and resignation and obedience, but in a hopeful way, right? That is it's something that we can control, and that there is a justice right behind it. um and that's the thing. In that same talk from Arodo, I think he says that most of us, when we are complaining or saying we are suffering, is because we're harvesting. Like you said, people are so happy when they are planting. They have no conscience most of the time. We're just, oh, I have so many options. Let me plant whatever things that are not even good for the soil or is not the right season. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to plant. But then, and then we're all happy. But then when it's time to harvest, when it's harvest time, then we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, what am I, you know?
Yeah. I wish I planted differently. Yeah. It's normal to happen. And then we are learning, right? So I agree with you. The message is of hope because just think about if you have a little bit more of patience, obedience, and resignation, just not that much, just a little bit more. How the invitation for that reflection and how much change you would have in our lives if you have a little bit more patience, if you have a little bit more obedience, and we have a little bit more resignation. If
Right.
we start to be more emotional driven and be a little bit more aware
Hmm.
of our surroundings, our choices, to me is an invitation to reflect in our actions. And because patience basically invite us think before you act and be obedient, say if this is happening there is a reason for it, and if you believe that God's everything that you believe to be, you have to trust and then be resign and then, so if there's nothing I can do to change,
Right.
so it's complaint is gonna solve.
Right. And we had, just one question here, but Luciana is asking, does Spiritism lead us to conformity or resignation?
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you, Luciano, for your question. It's supposed to lead us to resignation, but sometimes we misunderstand and give us the conformity. And why it leads us to that? Because it's easy for us
Right.
to be in the con- conformity is a comfort zone, and resignation is not about
Right.
comfort zone. Is a movement. So I
Right.
accept,
It
but
said
I
that it's
don't stop.
active. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption, but in the message it says that resignation and obedience both are active forces, right? So it's active. Resignation is
That's right.
not, and I think it was Devout who used to tell us that our resignations as Christians and as Spiritism needs to be a dynamic resignation.
Yeah,
It's not like conformity. Oh, I just accept everything because it must be God's way. It's like I try to change my situation, the way I think, right? The things that I have, I try to get to change my situation for the better. However, if everything that I do does not change that, I accept that as a means for me to improve myself, right? But it's not like, Luciano asked, like it's not conformity. It doesn't mean, oh, okay, I just accept everything and I'm not going to do anything to change my
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. That's where people get confused. Oh, I have a lot of resignation, and as you said, no, accepting everything as it is, and you don't change yourself is not resignation. So
Right,
it basically is the meaning that it get lost in
right,
there. So
right.
as much as we do as the master, remember those virtues are very active. All of the three that we discussed today. Patience is active.
Hmm.
So resignation is active, obedience is active. And go against them is as well is an active
Right,
dynamic process that we decide go against.
right.
So if you wanna know, I'm being resignated or more I'm kind of in my comfort zone, just ask it. Did you try to change? No, so then you are in that comfort zone.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. Thank you. That was a lot for us to reflect. It was a joy. We really thank you for that, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, and I thank you for the opportunity. Have a nice night.
You too. All right. So now we will continue with our meeting, and now is the time for the spiritual care. So our spiritual care consists of passes and the magnified water. So passes is a transfusion of spiritual energy that assists our physical, emotional, and mental balance. So if you are not sure what you need to do, you have never had passes before, just follow the guided audio instructions. Our passes are guided passes, or just remain in prayer. If you close your eyes, it just helps you to focus better and to really mentalize what you're hearing in the guided passes. So remember the magnetized water that you set aside, that water will receive healing energy for our body and our soul, and you and your family can benefit from it. So now I'm going to do our prayer before the passes, and that is also going to be our final prayer. So I invite everyone to just close your eyes, to thank God for our lives, to thank God for this life, the life that each and every one of us experiences every day, the life with that thousand nothings that are just like small pricks, but that end up hurting us. The life that requires from us patience, obedience, resignation. Let's thank God for the opportunity through those challenges that we can develop those virtues. Let's ask our Master Jesus that He be always with us, helping us, that His emissaries of love and light stay with us too, inspiring us, giving us good counsel and good intuitions so that we make good choices. May we, in every situation, remember to breathe, to take a step, to think of Jesus, to think of what is required of me at this point, and to rejoice in challenges. Why not? To have the courage to, and that goodwill and that active will of becoming a better person each and every day. Let's ask our Master Jesus to bless our families, our places of work, Help us, Master Jesus, to become a better version of ourselves. Come and with your grace, with your light, and with your peace, take away all the fear, take away all the uncertainty, take away all the feelings of inadequacy, take away all the feelings of not being able to, not belonging to, and fill us with your love, the love of God that endures forever. May your light, your peace, and your love extend throughout all this globe, and wherever someone prays in their heart with humility, may they be answered in their prayers. May all the names in our vibration book too, may they all be assisted in whatever they need, not from the merit itself, but from the love of God that is merciful and abundant. Stay with us always, Jesus, and so be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Friends, it's with the sweet vibrations of the passes, the sweet healing vibrations, that we bid you good night. Follow us on Spiritism Canada, the Spirits Group Path of Light, and Spiritism Canada Facebook or YouTube. We'll see you here next week. Until then, may God bless you. Thank you.
Hello, brothers and sisters of my heart. My name is Publio. I'm going to play and sing a couple of songs to help me, to help you, to help us to harmonize ourselves, to prepare for the Spiritism Talk tonight. So the first song called Vibration, and goes like this. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity.